Hey guys, and welcome back to BeardYGO. So today we have got Renier here, who came fourth at our regionals, playing RUNICK Plunder Patrol, if you can believe it. So yeah, Renier, I understand that you were undefeated until the last round.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me a bit about the deck and about your experience at regionals.
No, it was a great event. Always love going to Nexus. Yeah, at the start was ready for a hectic day, and then first round went up cash, so rough start to the day. Second round cash as well. And then after that played Pure Sprite and then Synchro Pile. So it was pretty tough. And then for basically all those went for O there. And then in the final round went against Tillemans. And then just didn't have enough gas in the last round and lost in time. But other than that, very happy with the deck. Did what it needed to do.
Awesome, cool. So let's see what you were cooking.
Okay, we'll start with the main deck. So first it is Plunder Patrol monsters. So for the two, I would say main starter guys that you want to play, it's triple Whitebeard and triple Golden Hair. So Plunder Patrol has the niche effect where with the extra deck monster and two of the main deck monsters, including the Whitebeard, you can special summon from your extra deck a Plunder monster that has the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls. Whitebeard, that is his main effect, and then his other effect that he has, which is why his starter, is when he's sent to the grave, either from your hand or from the field, so not for cost or effect, doesn't matter how he gets sent. So if you synchro with him, if you link with him, if you discard him for cost, anything like that, he summons from deck, so it brings you out another body to do your link plays or synchros or whatever you need.
Awesome.
And then Golden Hair, she has the effect to special summon herself from the grave or the hand. From the hand you discard a plunder card, and then from the grave you discard another card. They're both tuners, that's why the starters. And then so you can just put Golden Hair back up and continue your plays. Then for the supporting plunders, I play double Bluebeard, double Black Eyes, and one Redbeard. So Bluebeard has the effect, it's a free special summon if you control a plunder monster, so it's an extender, and when he's sent to grave, you discard a card, draw a card. This helps unclog your hand sometimes if you have really weird hands or anything or you have multiple copies that you need, you can just discard it. And then Black Eyes, you can target in your grave one plunder, he summons himself, and then he adds that card back to your hand. So he gives you fuel for your discard effects, summons himself and just helps you extend. And then when he sends your grave, you summon from your spell and trap card zone a face of plunder card, but that rarely comes up. And then Redbeard, also same effect as Whitebeard, where you can summon from extra deck, and then his other effect is basically when sent to grave, he equips onto any plunder. So sometimes you can use this in conjunction with the field spell to gain that extra attack boost and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it for the plunder monsters. Then other plunder monsters that I play is basically triple Ash, double Fenrir, and double John Lockbird. Just hand trap lineups. Ash generic stops most decks.
Yeah.
Because everybody either searches summons from deck or sends from deck. Very great versatile card. Cash Fenrir. So I didn't have my third copy in time, but I still started playing second. Only 2 copies. Summon one, replace it, search another one. This is a free body on board, so if you have this in a plunder, you can extend. Also, having that banish on attack declaration or effect is just amazing. So very happy with that. And then Joel, once again, every deck draws at least 2 to 3 times in a turn, and Joel just stops them. Yeah. Decided to play 2 because I don't want to clog my hand with this too much, because sometimes you do get that niche trap deck that doesn't search or searches once and that's all they need.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'd rather play Ash, because even if you draw them and they activate like Brand Fusion, you just stop that.
Yeah. So the Fenrir, the third one, did you ever look?
Third one? Yeah, there was once where I could have had the search, but I don't think it would have made a difference if I did search for that extra card. It would have literally just been an extra body for the next turn if my board was cleared.
Yeah.
But I do believe just to play 3, just for that consistency, to do get it, because it's nicer to have it than not have it.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's basically for the monsters. Then spell lineup, we play 1 plunder spell. This is the field spell. It has 3 great effects. So the first one, basically you discard a plunder of any card, add a plunder from your deck to hand. This is great for searching what you need, even getting effects off like Whitebeard if you discard it, search another one and gets a summon. Then also all your plunders gain 500 attack for each face of plunder patrol card in your spell trap card zone. So this just helps to get your board boosted when you have time, when you eventually get to the board where you can go for game. It gives you that extra boost just to rock over it. And we only play one because it recycles itself. So whenever it's in grave, you just replace it. People don't generally get rid of it because they don't think they know about the replacing effect. So when they do get rid of it, they normally destroy it, don't banish, and then you can just use that.
Okay.
Cool, and then all the Runic cards. So first we play Double Fountain. So Fountain, it lets you play your quick plays in your opponent's turn from your hand, and it recycles, so it puts 3 back, up to 3 back, and you draw the same amount. So it helps the deck, because sometimes Plunder is a bit slow, like you use a lot of cards in hand, so you get run out of cards. So this just helps having those extra draws and getting the cards that you need in your hand.
Yeah.
And then we play 2 because Konami only allows us to play 2. But I mean, that's normally the ratio. I think even before it got limited to semi-limited, that was more or less what they played. Then Runic Tip. So this is the card that searches any Runic spell from your deck to your hand, and then all the Runics has the additional effect that they would do something, and then you banish X amount of cards from your opponent's top of their deck. This banishes 1 card, and then also all the Runic spells, they allow you to summon from your extra deck a Runic monster. So any Runic gives you basically a search to Fountain. Then we have Triple Flashing Fire. This is a special summon monster destruction, and then you banish 2 cards. This just helps clears out irritating monsters or what you have, just to get your players done. Then we have Triple Freezing Curses. So this card is a Impim. You just negate a monster effect, and then you get to banish top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Next, it's Runic Destruction. This is your MST of the deck. Destroy a spell or trap, and then you banish top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. Then we play Triple Runic Slumber. So Runic Slumber is like a protection effect. So you target a monster, and then once per turn, if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can protect that monster. And then why I play 3 as well for me is when you go first, you normally summon to your extra deck a Runic monster, and then you don't get to activate, if they don't have monsters, any of the other Runics to get the Fountain off to recycle. Whereas if you have a monster, you put it onto the monster, you get to recycle. So I use this mainly to let my, just to get that, the draws of Fountain in my first turn. And then as well, it can also help in battle because the monster that you target can't attack. So sometimes your opponent will attack you for game or whatever, you can use that just to save it. But that didn't really come up. And then last is 2 Dispelling. So Dispelling is basically whenever your opponent adds a card to your hand, you discard a random card. So it just helps you, every deck searches. So when they search, hopefully you can snipe the card they search, or maybe get rid of a more important card in their hand. And then only play 2 because it's basically for going second, and you mainly want to go first. So that's it. Used to play the Smiting Storm, but Smiting Storm really isn't that impactful. So that is it for the Runic spells. And then finally, just a few traps. So I play 1 Plunder Patrol Booty. This card, it just helps you to recycle cards from your grave. So once per turn, you can target opponent's card. You change their attribute, so it helps you also to set up attributes that you might need. And then you can either special from your grave a plunder. So sometimes you can summon out your Whitebeard to help you extend into a bigger monster in your opponent's turn, or you can shuffle a card back. So it also helps you to recycle if you really run out of cards, and you run pretty quickly through your extra deck sometimes. So this just helps to fix that. And then if you don't have a plunder at the end of the turn, it just gets destroyed. So that's it. And then the last one, probably my favorite card of the deck, is 2 Rivalry Warlords. Just allows your opponent to play, both players to play with 1 attribute. The deck, I'll get to it, Jord, gives your opponent a token, and it's a fiend. So you give them a fiend, you flip this. If they don't have fiends, they have a rough day. They have to try and get rid of...
They have to control other fiends.
And then they can try and get rid of the token, but mostly in my deck, because it's more of a... keep them at bay until you can put up game. My stuff is mostly in defense. So it's very rare for them to be able to crash it away. They have to create full ways to get rid of the card. And then just play 2 instead of 3 because it's good, but you also don't want to clog your hand. That was the thinking. But then after the tournament, I would probably want to up this to 3. because I mean, when you do see it, it does generally win you games.
Yeah.
So that's it for the main. Played 41 cards. Yeah.
41 as well.
Yeah, I was really struggling. If I had the third Fenrir, I probably would have put the Joel on the side and then put in the Fenrir for 40.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to play one Joel. It feels a bit weird. So yeah, I just decided to put both Joels in and then play 41 cards.
Okay, cool.
Cool. And then for the extra deck, first off, to play the one non-archetypal card in the extra deck, it's Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon, when it's sent to grave, you get a free draw. So this also just helps you facilitate draws in the deck. And sometimes when you go second, it can actually just discard a card to destroy opponent's card.
Yeah.
So that also helps you to maybe get a Whitebeard effect off or so. And then the great thing as well, it's a tuner. So the reason also we play this is there is a combo that you do play if you do not open enough plunders to get into Synchro 8. So basically, okay, we'll discuss Yugen, but you summon Yugen and a tuner, Synchro for this, you activate another Runic summon another Yugen, and then that's Synchro 8. So that's your Jord.
Yeah.
And then Jord just puts your opponent a token, gives you extra cards, and basically, So great combo card. Really enjoyed it. And then for the Runics, we play double Gary and double Yugen. So Yugen, this searches your field spell. So when you summon, you discard a card, search your field spell. Once again, you can get plunder effects off of this by discarding them. And then also has a nice effect of whenever cards on your field would be destroyed by card effects, you can banish her instead. So it did come up once where basically I had full board, opponent goes Feather Duster, you activate your runic spell, summon her, and then on resolution, she doesn't start any chain or anything, so just on resolution you can banish her instead and save your board. Very great effect. And then Gary, he's just recycling from the graveyard. So if they do MST, whatever, destroy your field spell somehow, you can just recur that back from the grave. And also a nice effect is when it's destroyed by battle, you can destroy opponent's card, monster on their field.
Okay, that's nice.
So it did come up once where they swing with the big guy, they have 2 months, swing with the big guy, you summon this, they crash it, and then you just destroy the other card. Either saving you or helping you just not to lose too many monsters. So that's pretty great. So that's it for the Runics. Maybe the only thing that I would say about the extra deck is maybe I would have liked to play 3. Because when you do the Coral Dragon combo, you basically run through both in that one combo. Then you don't get that further protection down the line or whatever. But I was, to compensate for that, just a bit more cautious, trying to preserve her and not do too much to get, to lose her. Then first of the plunders, so this is Jord, the main card. This card came out and it just helps the deck to, all their flaws help them to not have them anymore. Basically, you summon him, then you can target a plunder in your grave, add it back, and then place him in pendulum scale. This allows you to recur cards from the grave so that you can have discard fodder for your plunders, because they all require you to discard plunder cards. And then also, once it's in the pendulum scale, you can return it back to your extra deck, and then you give your opponent a token, you can choose the attribute, and you give yourself a token. So this helps you to set up that first turn list for the monster negate or whatever you need. If your opponent, if you know they don't play, let's say, a Darks, then you can put up a Dark so you can get your Morg. And then the other great effect that I didn't use a lot, but it's actually very, very strong. If this card's on the field, your opponent special summons a monster, you can actually special summon a plunder from your deck. And then when he's equipped with a plunder card, you actually get to summon and add to your hand. So this card really does set up a lot of searches and stuff. But that didn't really come up a lot because you mostly just used it to recycle and put the token to clash, to put rivalry up and just stall them until you can put up game. So that's for Jord. And then he's also Earth Attribute. Then I played Double Bran. So the reason for double is mostly that what I've seen is people only play 1 in the Runic deck because the extra so tight. But in testing, I realized that sometimes you need big bodies for game. And this guy, not only does he have 2500, he also boosts all your other plunders by 500. It did come up once where I used the one, banished a spell trap and then got destroyed, and then later when I needed a game, at least had the extra one. And because it's synchro and you have tuners and stuff, it's very easy to get out.
Yeah.
Then his main effect, I would say, is basically you can discard a plunder card and then you banish any spell trap on the field.
Yeah.
So it's a nice banish, back row, get rid of those cards. And then when he's equipped with a plunder card, that becomes a quick effect. Also, when you do banish a spell or trap, you get to add any plunder monster on the resolution effect. You add any plunder monster from your deck to your hand. So yeah, that's Bran. Then we play double Morg. So Morg, this is the dark one. He basically also has the effect where you can discard a plunder card, but then he banishes the monster on your opponent's side of the field. So this just helps get rid of big monsters, annoying stuff, whatever you have. And then when he's equipped with plunder, it becomes a quick effect. And also when you do banish a opponent's monster, you get to add any plunder, patrol, spell, or trap. So yeah, only play 2. So sometimes you do get to the point where you ran through all your spells and traps in the deck, and then you don't get to recur more discard for other effects. But I mean, by that time you're so close to game that it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
And then if you summon it the traditional way of overlaying onto it, basically whenever a plunder card on your field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you detach 1 and then it's protected. So yeah, and then for probably the second main boss monster of the extra deck, it's Plunder Patrol Ship Liss. This is the light one. So Liss, basically during the main phase, you get to special summon any plunder from your face-up spell trap card zone. This allows you to maybe, if you have Blackbeard, summon it back, that you can use Blackbeard next turn. So that's that effect. And then this is a monster negate. So whenever your opponent activates monster effect, doesn't matter where, you discard a plunder from your hand, negate and destroy it. This works a bit different than others. He doesn't need to be equipped with a plunder to be a quick effect, but he does need to be equipped to be able to add any plunder card on resolution.
Yeah.
But I mean, just having a quick effect negating, you don't have to worry about having something equipped, is amazing. So yeah, that is Liss. And then lastly, the main body of the deck, it's basically, the main monster of the deck, it's Blackbeard. Blackbeard, this has the same effect as the Whitebeard and the Redbeard, where you can target, the only difference is he can target any of your monsters on your field. So sometimes if your opponent gives you a monster like a Lava Golem that you don't, but you can even equip that Lava Golem onto a monster that you summon. He just requires your opponent to have a tribute on their field or in the grave. And then when he does summon from the extra deck a monster, you get to draw a card. So yeah, this card, that's why you would go for the Jord, summon out a token, whatever you want, summon this, use this to summon out the monster that you need, and it gives you an extra draw. Could be a plunder to discard, could be a runic card that you might need, or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it for extra deck. 15, can't go over. But yeah, I was very happy. And then yeah, once again, like I said, maybe just drop a Gary for a Yugen. Just to be able to be more comfortable in doing the bit of extended combo to get into your Jord. And then lastly, it's the extra deck. So first card in the extra deck
Side deck.
Side deck. Sorry. The first card that I play, this is Munin. So Munin on summon, you discard a card to add a runic continuous spell. I don't play the continuous spell. It's a bit too slow for this deck. But the reason why we cited in this is for when you go into time, because during the end phase you gain 1,000. This came up every game. This is basically most of the reason why I won all my games, because the deck does go into time often. Not because of all the stalling and stuff. It's just sometimes plunder patrols. I mean, people don't really know what they do, and then for you to explain the effects the whole time, it does eat up time. So then, if you can put this on 2,000 defense, so sometimes you get them with a small monster and you put rivalry on board, they can't beat over this, and then during each end phase you gain 1,000. Played one game where I was able to actually do the rivalry against my opponent who had 600 attack monster, and boosted my life to 16k. I mean, that was close to time. There was no way for them to realistically ever catch up to that. So great in time. I would definitely recommend to put this in the side deck. Then for monsters, I play 2 kaijus. I just put them in for that extra protection against decks that put up really annoying boss monsters. Pearly, for instance, for you to be able to boost your stuff high enough to attack over it with the interruption, sometimes very difficult. So just play this to get over that. If they put sometimes like Dragoon, for instance, this deck as well, you have to play through a negate. If you do, that thing boosts up to 4k, and then you need to try and boost yourself up to get over it. So yeah, this was just nice. Spot removal. Didn't feel like putting any more in. I don't want to clog my hand while I draw too many kaijus.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then these two specifically just for their attributes. Dark for the Morg, and then Earth for the Jord.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then the other card I played was Double Nibiru. This is also basically the same principle as the kaijus. It's to stop them from getting their boss monster before they do. A lot of decks now summon so many times in a turn.
Yeah.
So then, just catching them in the right place to do a Nibiru is amazing. Gives you 3,000 body, and then in your next turn, you'll probably put up more or something to banish the token.
Yeah.
So it just helps you clear boards or help them not establish too strong boards, and then, didn't come up really a lot, but rather have it than not. Then I played Double Lightning Storm. It's self-explanatory. It's a MST or a Feather Dust or a Geki when you need it. Just helps you to clear boards. The deck sometimes does struggle if your opponent has too many negates and stuff. So this really just helps clear boards and get rid of some annoying stuff. Trap decks, for instance, if they set 5, if they don't have the Solemn Judgment, you're basically putting them to where they need that card. Otherwise, they're not gonna have a nice day. Then for traps, play Double Dimension Mirror. It's also just the same thing of basically stops a lot of decks now because everybody XYZ synchros and fusions. This card became very strong now. Just played 2 because I felt like because the deck does have the nice, like a lot of draws and stuff that it can do, I think I would rather play 2 and not clog up my hand by drawing into multiple copies. And then so that's basically the 2 ratio. Then for probably MVP from the side deck, evenly matched. I think everybody is playing it, and if not, I would recommend. This card basically just, you clear a board, your opponent puts up 5 full negates or whatever. If they don't have the Omni negate, this card is great. Otherwise, you do have cards in the deck where you can maybe just bait out 1 or 2 negates and then force them to clear the rest of their stuff. One nice thing about the deck as well is when the deck sometimes evenly proof because you give them a token. And then that just stops them from using evenly. It also helps you stop basically lightning storms if they do have them, because if they have a token, they have a face-up monster. So that's one thing as well about the deck that I really love. These type of cards that really blow you out, you can put up actually like things to stop them. That is that. And then the last one, because I'm scared of trap decks, triple royal decree. Luckily didn't face a lot of trap decks, but this was just there for in case. I think it's not the really so much traps that I would say this deck is weak to, but a lot of spell speed 3, like counter traps. A lot of people play strikes and solemns and stuff. So if you can just have this on the board, flip it up, then if they don't have the card to stop this. It also helps sometimes if you play against somebody and they're possibly going to side in evenlies. If you go first, it just is that extra protection. If they do want to evenly, you flip roll decree, and then you go. So it didn't come up much. I think I only drew it once. All the games are sided, but no, I think that was. So that's it for the deck.
Awesome.
Nice concoction,
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I really enjoyed watching you play on the day as well. And you went 4-0 or 4-1. And the last one was like you almost had it. Like you almost had it. And it was really cool. But really, really awesome to see how you did. I know you were also a little bit nervous about how the deck would perform and everything. So anything else you'd like to say?
Number one, guys, if you're playing Runic, declare your battle phases. I made the mistake a few times where I forgot to declare my battle phases, and then if you don't declare it, it doesn't get skipped, so that carries over to your next turn.
Yeah.
I did have a little issue in round 1 because of that. Luckily, the guy was gracious enough to let it slide once. So yeah, do that. But then besides the deck and everything, I just would like to do a shout out to basically Nexus for the great tournament that they held. I think it ran very smoothly. All the players, it's always nice to see everybody. Everybody's so nice. The community's so strong here. I think everybody helps everybody and so forth. Shout out to the judges at the events. Theon that was there. That's the BeardYGO himself. And then that's basically it.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks. And yeah, guys, if you guys want to pick up this deck, you should probably do it now. Or, well, you can chill now. Banlist is out. You don't have to worry. Runick's not getting hit anymore. So,
thanks, Konami.
Thanks, Konami. Anyway, we'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.
Shoot.